Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. It's Hazard Shocker here. You guys know who it is. No, I've been gone for a little while again, just kind of a busy time, but we're back now. I'm trying to make some more videos and get ready for summer when I can start pumping shit out like crazy, yeah. But so we've had a lot of. Sorry if I'm talking like slowly or quietly. It's later at night as usual. Um, we're kind of been seeing some new hype around the Steam hardware. Steam controller has been announced and has been up for and is available for order, and then went out of stock in about 30 minutes. So I was not able to get one. Unfortunately, I was in a location at the time. I had no internet. I had literally 0 bars. I was on satellite on my phone, so I missed my opportunity. But Valve released a statement saying, as of recording tomorrow, May 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific, reservations are going to go up for the next batch when they come in. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, we're going to kind of look at the new quick start video that they released for the Steam controller, talk about the Steam controller, look at the new Steam, look at the Steam page updates, and then also cover the rest of the hardware because I want to talk about that too. What is going on with pricing, etc., etc. Um, you know, so yeah, I kind of want to discuss that too. I might make that a separate video. I'm not exactly sure right now, but first we're talking about Steam controller. So without further ado, let's just start off by watching the video that Valve put out. The new little quick start video, the official overview. So let's just take a quick look at this. A little reaction.
Hey there. This video is a quick overview of what you'll find inside the Steam controller.
Okay, also spoilers. Sorry. I know this is stupid to say spoilers for a fucking controller, but I know there are people out there who will be like, no, I didn't want to know about it yet. I wanted it to surprise myself. So, spoilers for the controller, if that's even a thing, which I don't think anyone's going to care, but trust me, I know there are fanatics out there who were like, no, I wanted to see the box when I got it in my hand, so like,
box.
Sorry.
How to get started with it, and a quick look at some of the features. First, let's open it up. Inside, you'll...
Sorry, I've always loved Valve's packaging. Ever since even the original Steam controller, which I do actually still have the box for, and I actually, because in the back here I have a TV now and my Steam Deck OLED and my Steam Deck dock, and so temporarily until I'm getting my hands on this one, I've been using the old Steam controller actually from 2015. And even since then, the packaging for Valve products has always just been so sleek, and just so like they have like little slogan, little comedic things on them too. It's just fun packaging. Like I would have to say that my two favorite, packaging styles from companies would be Apple and Valve. They both have absolutely premium packaging. I love that. Sorry, I put my phone on silent. I don't want you to interrupt this. So enough of me talking. We will talk more about this. I'll probably get into a little more of the specifics of it.
Find the all-new Steam controller. The Steam Controller Puck, which is both a wireless receiver and charging station, a USB-A to USB-C cable, and an information book.
That's interesting.
The Puck is the fastest, most reliable way to play wirelessly.
I don't want to cut in again here. That's interesting though. A to C. That's interesting. Like I don't know if that's still because because the Steam Deck was the power thing's obviously wall outlet to USB-C, but like interesting because I pretty much every product I see launched nowadays uses C to C. Everything is USB-C nowadays, which is crazy to think about because I remember when everything was USB-A. But that's interesting though. USB-A to USB-C. That's actually pretty interesting because I feel like everything now is C to C. Whether it comes from charging or for connectors, everything's C to C now. But I don't really give a shit. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking controller. But I'm surprised by that. I'm kind of interested by that. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, it's a controller. It doesn't matter. But interesting, kind of cool.
The easiest way to get playing is to connect the USB-C cable to your Puck and then plug the other end of the cable into your PC. Steam does all the hard work to make sure your controller performs seamlessly when playing your games. Turn on the controller by pressing the Steam button. Your controller will automatically be connected wirelessly to your PC through the puck. The LED will be solid white when connected. Press the Steam button on the controller again to bring up Big Picture Mode, a controller-focused Steam interface. If you have a Steam Deck, this will look very familiar. Also, like the Steam Deck, we will be adding improvements and features with software updates. Make sure you install the newest firmware updates, especially when you first use the controller. When installing updates, the puck will update first. Once that's done, unplug the USB cable from your puck, then plug the cable into your Steam controller. Your Steam controller will start updating automatically. Once the update is finished, you can unplug the cable from your Steam controller and plug it back into your puck.
I do have two things to say here, actually. One, is the puck weighted at all or something? Because I feel like if I just want to, because in the trailer, the original Steam hardware trailer, you see them just picking it up and putting it back on. I feel like the puck is just going to lift up and move with the controller if you don't like weigh it down or tape it down or something. So I did see on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, a new kind of a stand somebody was making where it kind of threads the puck upward and holds it in position, and it's like a stand for the controller, which I think that's definitely something I'm gonna get, because it's more convenient. Because it looks like this isn't gonna be a weighted thing. It's just gonna I'm gonna try to pick it up, and it's just gonna stay on the controller. So that's interesting. But that stand thing was a good idea. I forget whoever's idea that was, but that was really cool, and I will be buying one when you make them. Second thing, the controller looks kind of big. Now, again, I don't think it really is going to be that big because this is, a woman's hands in the video, and so women tend to have smaller hands. So in her hands, it looks like kind of big, and because I have pretty decently sized hands, so I'm not too worried about it. But at least from the angle of this video, it looks big. Again, unless this person's hands are just small, I don't really know. But
now go ahead and launch a game. The Steam controller has all the normal gamepad controls that you're familiar with, including responsive, longer-lasting, next-generation magnetic thumbsticks.
Nice.
It also has a bunch of great advanced inputs to help you make the most of your gaming experience. 2 trackpads that can be customized for all sorts of uses. A gyro sensor, which allows moving your controller around for input.
Nice.
4 grip buttons, which can be toggled on or off and remapped to any functionality you'd like. And finally,
if I'm not mistaken, I believe the original Steam controller, which is like literally 5 feet behind me, did not have 2 buttons per. It was just these. It was like the back battery panel. It took AA batteries, and you would just and it was just these 2 like flaps that you would click in. There was no buttons. So it's actually kind of cool that they finally, that they can. They're
capacitive grip sensors on the handles to detect when your fingers are.
Sorry, I keep fucking interrupting. I think it is quite cool how we first saw Valve's capacitive technology with the Valve Index controllers. Or the Knuckles. I call them the Knuckles. Wait, what is it? The Roy? No. The Roy is this controller, right? Yes. No, the Knuckles. Yeah. Oh my god, I remember calling them the fucking. I still call them the Knuckles. But the Knuckles. I remember how like it was like it's still my favorite controllers of all time for VR. Well, in general, of how it does like finger tracking with capacitive touch, and so that was kind of like revolutionary. No one's ever done that since, it seems. And how it tracked your individual fingers, and there was Moondust and the tech demo, and I think it's interesting how now we're seeing this technology being implemented into everything. So like the Steam Frame controllers, I believe, have capacitive touch. The Steam controller has capacitive touch, not just in the joysticks, but also in the controller itself. I think it is quite cool how we're seeing Valve take that initial experiment and now implement it into all their
on the grips. The trackpads can be used in a variety of ways. They can be used as a mouse substitute to give you a more precise way to aim and control the camera, or a more intuitive way to play mouse-first games like Deck Builders and 4X. It can be used as a radial pop-up menu to give direct access to key inputs, and fully customizable for countless possibilities. The capacitive grip sensors are a new kind of input to help improve gyro gameplay. It works by sensing whether your hands are touching the grips on the controller. If you extend your fingers away from the grip, the sensor will turn off.
Cool.
The sensitivity is customizable as well, so you can configure it to be as responsive as you'd like. It can be used as a way to ratchet while using gyro. Simply release your fingers to turn gyro off and reset your position back to center. In our gaming, we found that grip sense can be used for other things as well. For example, it can be used to bring up a weapon wheel or a map in game with just the release of a finger. When you're finished, we made it super easy to charge back up. Just set the controller over your puck and it'll snap into place. The next time you want to use your controller, just grab it off the puck and press the Steam button to get going. To learn more about the Steam,
you can just kind of flick it off with the piece there. I didn't think of that.
controller and its endless configuration possibilities, visit this link. We're so excited for you to get your hands on this controller and start playing. Have fun!
Cool. Downloading some Raising the Bar Redux stuff there. Okay, so that is the video. Overall, looks pretty cool. Doesn't really show us anything we didn't know yet. We knew about the puck and everything. Just kind of gives us a more in-depth look. It looks great. And I think it's quite cool how we're seeing Valve kind of learn from their mistakes. With the original Steam controller was, in essence, just a very weird thing to use, and I never quite liked it, if I'm going to be honest. Now I see what they were doing with the original Steam controller, the 2015 one, trying to make it good for mouse games and controller games because it went with the Steam Link and the original Steam machine and the Steam Link. You know, you guys remember the original shit. But I think what happened with that was they focused a little too much on that kind of hybrid, and so there was one joystick, then like a half D-pad, half trackpad, one trackpad, like these weird flap things in the back for back controls, and the controller was weirdly shaped. It was curved this way, like instead of like outwardly curved like this or just flat, it was curved inward. It was just the weirdest design ever. And so while kind of cool to look at and to try out, I feel like from the beginning it was always doomed for failure because it was just too weird and too out there and just not intuitive. And it seems like they learned their lesson with the new Steam controller though, because this looks exactly how it should have began with the trackpads and two joysticks and a traditional format with back controls for a controller. This is how it should have started. And so Valve has clearly learned, and I think the Steam controller now is going to be one of the biggest hits we've ever seen in the modern gaming industry. And again, it sold out in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, the Steam controller sold out. A controller, not even a console, not a game, a controller sold out. And you know, $100. This is a premium controller. I hear people bitching about that. Oh, it's $100. It's a lot of money. You're getting a premium controller that's better and more useful than Xboxes or PlayStations. Oh my god, I gotta make a video on Xbox because they're just shooting greens. They're just shooting greens literally left and right. But yeah, so let's kind of go into Steam here. Let's just take a look at the page. The page really hasn't changed as far as I'm aware. It just has kind of the pre-order stuff up. So let's jump in here. I have it on my wish list, I think, actually. Yeah, so it's just this kind of everything else here is the same. It's just this new part here. Again, $100 out of stock. Reserves will be going up tomorrow, which I will be doing. And reserves will be when the new batch comes in, served in first come first serve. So if you're one of the first people to get a reserve in, you're one of the first people from that second batch. So you know, it looks really quite good. I mean, I'm really quite impressed with it. It looks great. Again, with the price, and we're going to cover this more in a separate video while I talk about the future of the machine and the frame and what's going on with RAM prices, but I'll cover a little bit here. Because of RAM prices being so high, which even though the controller doesn't really use a lot of RAM, it's still an essential part of it. Prices have been hiked by a lot. Valve has openly said that this is not the price that they exactly wanted to launch it at. My original guess was that they were going to launch it at about $70 to $80. That was my assumption. They were probably shooting more for 70. But because of these prices, they had to hike it and go to 100. But I still think it's worth it. because even when they were gonna price it at $70 or $80, that's the same as like an Xbox controller, like a Pro controller or a PlayStation 5 controller, you know. And even at $100, you're getting magnetic thumbsticks, capacitive touch, back button. You're getting a lot more in a package. It's what, $20 more, $30 more. You're getting the puck. You're getting a longer gameplay life. You're getting better haptics. You're getting trackpads. You're getting something that can be used across all platforms, not just with console. And so, I think for $100, I would pay a fucking 110 for it. You know, it's premium. It's a very premium controller, and you're getting a lot more out of it than you would be getting from a traditional controller. Not to glaze it so much, but I think that's the truth. And I don't think people understand that. This is not just another controller. This does a lot more than that. So yeah, I mean, I think it's really quite great. I'm really quite impressed with it. I'm gonna see if I can try to find Valve's recent statement on the hardware. Good, that's done. Okay. Valve hardware statement. It just came out today because people were like going crazy about it, and they had to put out a statement saying something. Literally on their Twitter. I'd rather pull up their Twitter myself. Yeah, so as you can see, they announced it. Little animation trailer or whatever. It ran out way faster than they thought, and then now they're covering it here. Reservations will be available beginning tomorrow. Yeah, so we'll read this little press release here. Yes. You know, we know it was. So yeah, beginning tomorrow, May 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific. Just that's 1 p.m. in Eastern time. Their reserves will be open. It's one per customer. You have three. Once you receive an order email, you have 3 days. So you're basically reserved. I think the reserve is $5 to $10 if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I'm wrong on that or not, but I think that was the same way when it first came out. I believe it's $5 to $10. I don't know what it is exactly. For a reservation, it was the same way when the Steam Deck came out. If you guys remember that, it was like a $10 reservation. So I'm going to try to be one of the first people to get it, to get a reservation. So when that second batch comes in, I'm one of the first people to get it. So yeah, I'm going to try to get it. And you know, again, once you receive your order email, when the second batch comes in, you have 3 days to make the purchase. So, you know, so that's kind of that. And yeah, that's really about it for the Steam controller. This is kind of the situation we're in. And it's looking really great. I'm going to try to be on the dot and get my reservation tomorrow. I'm really pissed I couldn't get it on the 4th. I'm so fucking pissed about that. Because I didn't think it would sell out so quickly. You know, I was like, oh, look, I know at this point in time I'm not going to be able to access it right away. But I was like, man, whatever. But then literally within half an hour, everything sold out. I was like, holy shit. Fuck. I even had the funds in my Steam wallet ready. I have them ready. And it still didn't work. So, you know, it happens. But what are you going to do? But, yeah, apart from that, guys, I will see you in the next video.